Hi everyone, Arturo Spraycasso here. Well, welcome back to another Spraycasso show. Today we have a very special show to do for you guys today. But before we begin, this show we're going to try and kill two birds with one spray can. Well, what I mean by that, starting next year, I think it was February 28th, which happens to be my birthday, go figure, cable TV is going to be going digital. So for that, we're going to need some special cameras with special formats. It can no longer be analog. And PBS is trying to raise money so that they can buy some more cameras for shows like mine that are coming up. So we're going to try and help this process out by raising some money. So what I mean to say when I say we're going to try and kill two birds with one stone is going to help you guys out as well. I've gotten a lot of emails asking about where can I get some of your paintings. I no longer sell my paintings online, so it's a little hard to come by, but for this show, we're going to add a link right next to the video for eBay. So we're going to put several of my paintings up, and they're going to be paintings from videos that we've done here on YouTube, as well as maybe a few new ones, and the ones that are going to be featured in today's show. So there you guys have it. So if you guys want to buy some paintings, some Spraycasso original paintings from videos that you've seen in the past, the link should be right next to this video, so I'm going to try and help everyone out. Alright, so like I said, today we have a very special show. We're going to do different sizes today of paintings. We're going to do some 11 by 14s, which is mostly the size that I use, as well as some bigger ones. So if you guys are ready, grab your spray paint and your mask. What do you say we begin? Alright everyone, so we're going to start off with the sky layers. As you can tell, I'm going to do two paintings, but this time I've had quite a few requests of telling me to explain what I'm doing. I guess on the other one I kind of went a little too fast, didn't really explain too much. I had some music in the background, so in this one I'm going to slow it down a bit. So far I'm just adding the sky layers, and as you can tell, one is going to be a sunset type and the other one is going to be an evening of a sort. It's that point between nighttime and daytime going away. So I added a little bit of blue, white in the middle, and black surrounding it. And the first painting, I'm going to add a sun or a sun type of effect by adding a little bit of yellow. Now then, I'm going to add a little bit of purple just to make a colorful sky. Orange blends the colors really well. I encourage you to practice this. Mix a bunch of colors together, for example yellow and red, and use a little bit of orange and kind of just mix them together, and you'll see that orange has a way of mixing them, making a transition between the two really nice. Alright, I'm going to tear up a piece of magazine, and I'm going to put it right here so you guys can see what I'm spraying on it. Just a little bit of black. Okay. Now I'm going to tear off another piece, and we're going to make a terrain. Now this painting that I'm working on right here on the left is going to be a painting between beginner and intermediate, because I'm making it very simple. As you can tell, I'm already adding the terrain, and I'm just adding black, so it's going to be mostly a silhouette painting, which I know silhouette techniques are mostly intermediate, but I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Here I added a little bit of orange, so it's not completely black, so it's not a silhouette technique, so it actually has some highlights on these rocks in the distance. And I'm just adding random rocks. Now you can do the same to this other one. That's why this painting, it's kind of a bit of a in between a simple painting, a beginner level painting, and an intermediate. Because I'm going to be using mostly black. I'm not going to really have too much detail, but it's going to look like we have a lot of detail. Alright, I went ahead and cut off a piece of my sea foam or sea sponge. Okay, I'm going to spray a little bit of black. I'm going to create a bush effect. Now this is another technique that I've used before. I know you guys were wondering about it. I just get a piece of magazine, kind of crumble it up. And you can get a similar effect to your sea sponge. Just like so. I thought I'd show you guys this technique in case you don't have a sea sponge or you run out. So this is a really cool alternative. See that? Again, this is just black. However, your sea sponge will hold more paint, and you can paint a little longer, I believe, because it absorbs most of the paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and create just a few little trees here in the background, and these will be some pine trees. Pine trees are really easy to make because you start off at the top and you just get real broad towards the bottom. You make your trunk and then you just start getting thicker as you get down to the bottom. Nice. See that? Okay, let's add another one right about here. There you go. Now you can also use your Spraycasso tool to make a very straight, just like so, trunk sticking out from the top of the tree. Awesome. So now then, let's add a little bit of white and blue. Just gonna mix those two colors together. And you can't quite see it from here, but it is giving us a lighter blue. Do keep in mind that there's a little bit of black underneath this, same black that we were using to create our trees, so you may have to add a little more white so you can see a little better. Okay, and I'm just adding some random spots of bushes in the background, some plant life. Now this is the grass technique. We're just creating some grass strands here on the bottom. Mixing a little bit more of that black so we can get a darker blue. Okay. Now this painting on the right is also a hybrid. It's in between intermediate and advanced. Let's go ahead and create our sun or our moon. Shoot, it could be anything, a bright star. Use your imagination, guys. Let's make that a little brighter. Yeah. Cool. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of black. I'm going to tear off another piece of my sea sponge. Okay. Now this is going to be the darker leaves, so that's why I'm using a dark color so I can overlap some of the moon's rays or the star's rays. So I want these leaves to be more noticeable. They're closer to us. There we go. We'll add a few more. Okay. Now, you guys know how to use the Spraycasso funnel, right? In case you guys were wondering, there is a tutorial out there that I show you how to make the Spraycasso funnel. I believe it's in the Wolf tutorial. Check it out sometime. Just went ahead and sprayed a little bit of black. I'm going to create a tree here. Right in front. I'm going to make it a little thicker. And when you start running out, spray a little bit more in there. You can make your trees as thick as you want, or as thin as you want. I like them kind of thick. That way, if we're going to make this an advanced tutorial, you can make some light reflect off of them. You guys remember that technique? Okay, we'll add the reflection of these trees using our sea sponge on the bottom of this water here. Now they don't have to be too detailed, just detailed enough that you can tell that it resembles the top. Remember that there's a lot of waves and distortion in the water, so don't make them too identical. I'm gonna add a little bit of black. This. Awesome. Just so that it looks like there's plant life that you can't quite see. I'm gonna use a little bit of white, maybe a little bit of blue on the bottom, so we can tell that that is water. Just like so. Doesn't need too much. A little bit of white, and look at that. You guys can create that, right? Fairly simple. Now, using some of those same techniques, we incorporated them onto our painting on the right, and just added a little more highlights, made it a little more advanced. Now here I added a few colors. I don't want my rocks to be completely black, so I'm going to tear off another piece of magazine. I'm going to go over some of these rocks, just add some color. Now notice that the colors aren't very bright. I didn't use bright colors such as yellow or white. Just kind of incorporated a few bright colors, but I also mixed in a few darker colors so that they wouldn't just stand out. They're not highlights. Alright, now here, using one of the straight edges, I'm going to use my blue. It's going to create some water here. Now I have been creating some water paintings lately. I believe that there's quite a few water techniques, and I'm pretty sure I've showed you most of them. Pretty confident you guys can do most of them by now. Just like so. Just add a little bit of white. Notice how I sprayed some of the white down to show the reflection of that star. Now notice you can see some movement here on the water. And we did that just using our straight edge. Now here on this bottom part, I'm just using black. Just gonna darken up this area a little bit. Okay, using some of these colors that we had before. Some highlights. A silhouette right here of a piece of land. I'm gonna cover that black. Nice. Now do you see where the water meets the ground with the black? It just kind of flows together really nice. You can do that with lighter colors as well, orange and yellow, to make a beach scenery. Now here I'm just going to spray a little bit of white. I'm going to transition this painting from a night scenery. I'm going to keep it a night scenery, but I'm decided to add some snow to it. So this is a good example how you can start a painting, and then right in the middle of it you can just have an epiphany and change your mind, change the painting a little bit. Here with a little bit of white going on top of these rocks, just adding a little bit of that snow. And you can use the star technique here to, the way you spray paint, you let some spray paint drop on your painting, make it look like it's snowing. You might do that at the end. Here I'm just gonna add some more bushes, and I want these bushes to stick out a little more, so I'm gonna use black. Then we're gonna cover them, not too much, but we are gonna cover them with some snow. Now I always make a point to use the grass technique and make a few strands getting into the water. That'll make your painting more realistic. If you guys ever gone down to a river and see that the grass actually goes into the water a little bit. Just adding some darker areas, some shrubs that are closer to us. Here I decided to add another layer of a tree, overlapping our previous trees. And I'm gonna go back with the Spraycasso funnel and make some branches. This is gonna be another layer. So as you guys can tell, we use a lot of layers when spray painting. And the more you overlap them, the more advanced your painting gets. Yeah, there you go. Because now you're having to consider if everything is going to fit and fall well in balance. Now this is something that I do to some of my paintings. I add a little black border around. It makes them look like they're in a dream state. Makes the bright colors really stand out as well. Okay, like so. And there you have it, folks. Now this is the easiest way of being able to create two paintings at the same time. You can create one, as I did here, that is not as advanced as the one next to it. But as we move on with the show, I'll show you how to kick up your skills a little bit, create two advanced techniques at the same time. Let's take a closer look at our paintings. The spray paint gets them stuck together sometimes. Look at that. Everything just falls very well balanced. I like it. Let's take a look at our other painting. There you go. You got a reflection on the water. You got the colors reflecting off from the sky. Very nice paintings. Well, folks, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next tutorial. Hey crew, in this tutorial, as you can tell, I've already made a planet. I don't want to make this tutorial too long. It's already long enough as it is. So you're gonna see me. I'm gonna skip a few areas that I believe you guys already know. So like the planet technique here, I used the liquefy technique, created a pretty big planet, lots of bright colors. The Nebula Technique here, which is what I'm creating now. Spray painted some colors on the background. A little bit of black to make the nebula effect. Now here we're gonna create the sunlight technique, which you've seen me used in a lot of my paintings, or a few of them. Kind of like a religious experience, more or less the same technique. So we transitioned from yellow to orange to red. Now I'm going to create a bright spot. There we go. So you can tell that is the brightest spot, and from there you see the light transition from yellow to red. create a few comets, create some stars. So far we're doing, you know, a space scenery, but we're gonna mix it up a little bit. I've had a lot of wonderful emails, and a lot of you guys were wondering why I don't do so many space sceneries anymore. It's not exactly that I got burnt out. I have been doing space sceneries for, oh man, over 10 years. But well, let's just add some terrain to this, you guys. This is the basic form of making terrains, especially on a space scenery. But I really enjoy making landscapes, so I've concentrated some of my time onto making landscapes. But here we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna create a landscape and still keep some of the same space scenery techniques that we've used in the past. So here, as you can tell, I went ahead and added some brown, just kind of smeared it down to the bottom of the painting. And then I used some of the same colors that I used on the top, such as the orange, the yellow, and the red. Then with a little bit of blue, I went through and just kind of made it look like water. Very simple, right? It's a very easy technique to make a transparent water effect. Add a little bit of white on top of that after you've added your colors. Now see, you don't want to make your colors so solid that you can't see the colors that you had underneath, in this case the rocks. That'll give you the effect that water is transparent. This is the planet that I had created. As you can tell, it got pretty crazy. A lot of movement in this planet. But I like that about it. You know, it's one of those planets that just focus your eyes onto it and take your attention. Now here's another technique that I haven't showed you guys lately. Using one of my straight edges, I'm placing it on top of some rocks. Then with the other one, I'm going to create the effect of a waterfall. Now I want some of that white to overpass my water line. And I'll show you why. Oh, you don't want none of those white drops to land on your painting. Okay, let's create the splash effect on each of those small waterfalls. See, that gives you the effect that the light is reflecting off from the water as well as the waterfalls that you just made. See that? So this gives you the perspective that there's water behind these rocks. Just kind of coming down. What I'm doing here is with a little bit of black, I went ahead and added some plant life in the background. Then with a little bit of white and green, I'm coming through and just adding some highlights. Okay. Nice. Now we're gonna do that throughout our painting. I'm also gonna add some fine details such as twigs, branches. Just make a few twigs coming out here, maybe a few over here. Let's add a few more right there. Okay, now I'm gonna create another layer using the Spraycasso funnel and just black. It's gonna be a silhouette layer of some trees. Now as you can tell, I've also used a little bit of yellow to add some highlights to some of these plants in the background. So I'm gonna add some bushes here, and this is just a mixture of black and green. Okay, just gonna throw it back here. Now you want some of this plant life to overlap your planet, because it'll give you perception that the plant life is closer to you. right? You don't want to make it seem like the planet is closer to you than the plant life. So that's why it's important to sometimes overlap your planets. Now here I used a little bit of green and I created my tree leaves, and then I added some green and a little bit of white to add highlights to them. Okay, again, this is just green and white. I'm just adding some random highlights to the trees in the background, to the plants down below. Now this is an alien planet, so I'm trying to make it very colorful, you know, maybe some colors that you don't see in everyday plants. So I'm adding more yellow, I don't know, maybe some blue. Okay, now here we're just gonna add a little bit of white, and this will be our light reflecting from the star bright. Nice. And there you have it, folks. This is a 14 by 22 painting. Stay tuned for our next painting. Well guys, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? For the next segment of this show, we're going to be doing a larger painting. And this is it right here. As you can tell, it's pretty big. I think it's 24 by 36. Which is a D-size sheet of paper, or foam board, so it's actually better quality than a regular poster board. So if you guys are ready, clear out your area a little bit. And what do you say we get started, huh? In this next painting, I'm going to do a collage of several of my techniques. It's going to be abstract. Now here I went ahead and created a scenery, very much like Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Of course, colors are different. There's a lot of things different on it. Now here, I'm going to create is what we call minimalism style of art. The whole theory behind minimalism is that less is more. So we'll see if that's true. I'm going to create a few colors here. And we're going to cover that in white and red and a little bit of orange on top of that. And we're going to come in and just kind of add, try and remember where we left those colors, where we placed those colors. In this case, this would be the orange. I think maybe the green. Yeah, it should be the green. And then we're going to use our Spraycasso and a straight edge, Spraycasso tool, and then we're going to try and make a straight line. See that? So we don't quite know what this straight line is. This is one thing that will captivate the viewers, as well as the bright colors. Okay, just like so. We went ahead and did the same thing to the other two colors. Now here I'm just dipping into some black paint and just adding a random pattern. Did the same thing with the one of the other little planets or orbs in this case. So far we went ahead and just added different techniques and styles to all these stencils. We went ahead and covered that in white. Now we're going to add some random colors. And here we're just going to create the space nebula, or something similar to it. However, the way of making it is very much the same way we use it to create it in our space sceneries. So I'm just adding some bright colors, red, green, blue. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of black and go around my stencils here. I don't want to call them planets because they're not quite planets. The name of this painting is Inside Spraycasso's Head, so it's more or less portraying some of my feelings about, you know, some of these paintings that I've created in the past, ideas, some new paintings that I want to create. So they're not quite planets, so we'll call them orbs. So now I'm going to use a little bit of black And as you can tell, this painting is already abstract. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add to these orbs, but outside of the orb, just a little landscape. You guys know how to create these techniques, right? I'm just using a sea sponge, creating some trees. And this is all very symbolic. Okay, just like that. Went ahead and added a little bit of water using my straight edge. Now here we don't have to quite concentrate on vanishing points or anything of a sort, you know, anything that implies realism. So I believe I'm going to go ahead and create another little terrain here to the left of this other one. Make a little butterfly here on the bottom. It's just like I said, a collage of ideas, paintings that I've done, some new techniques that I plan making a few tutorials on. It's just a mixture of everything. That's the beauty about abstract art. You know, some people don't understand it. It takes quite a bit. It takes quite a few years of you being involved in art to start understanding abstract. As you can tell here, we're going to remove these little orbs. There's that painting. And see, there you go. I even added a little bit of iceberg here on the bottom. Two paintings to the left, the little landscapes represent some of the paintings that I've been doing lately. And here we have our ideas and a little butterfly as well as some comets. Like I said, guys, a lot of symbolism here. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's tutorial. This will be one of the paintings that will be for sale on eBay. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's tutorial and today's paintings. Until next time, folks. Thank you for watching.